Hi everyone! Today I want to share with you my process for manifestation magic using bay leaves. So today is actually a new moon and I am going to be calling in various different energies, and I have a number of bay leaves that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be writing my intentions on the bay leaves and then I'm going to be burning them. Before I go ahead and do this, I'm just going to set up my sacred space, and as I write the intentions on each bay leaf, I'm also going to sit with it. I'm going to hold it in my hands and just send all of my energy into the bay leaf through my hands and visualize my manifestation coming into fruition. And I also like to use air magic and blow my intentions into the bay leaf as well. And as part of this spell, I'm also going to be calling on the Morrigan, who is a deity who I work with frequently, and lifting my prayers up to the Morrigan using incense, opening a direct line of communication with the Morrigan to help me to manifest what it is that I'm calling in today. So let's get right into making some magic. Like many other witches and magical practitioners, I really love utilising the magic of bay leaves as a herb to use in magic, and it's actually a herb that can be used in so many different ways. Bay leaves have many medicinal benefits in that they can be used to help treat insomnia, and they can be used in a way to relax your body and mind if you're stressed, and they are also highly antibacterial. They are commonly used, of course, in cooking and in kitchen witchery, most naturally in things like soups and stews and pasta sauces. Magically, they have so many correspondences. They are almost thought of a little bit like a clear quartz in the magical community. So you can do so many things with bay leaves. You can use them for manifestation, as I am here, or you can use them for cleansing. They are highly associated with protection workings and healing workings, as well as strengthening things like psychic powers and awareness. So they can also be used in things like flying ointments or oils to enhance the senses and heighten dreams and intuition, as well as astral travel, of course, and psychic development. The corresponding planetary association is with the sun, which is of course a luminary, and the element is fire. So using that association and correspondence, you can see how bay can be used in any way to sort of spark things, start new things, and put a fire underneath someone even, and just in a very protective way to put a fiery wall of protection around you. Being associated highly with wishes and manifestation magic, they are also fantastic for bringing in prosperity and abundance of wealth and riches and money. So they just have so many amazing uses. For this working, I am of course using manifestation magic, and essentially it is burning bay leaves to make wishes. And really, when you think about a wish, it's a desire, but it goes deeper than that if you're using magic and something such as a bay leaf to convey your message up to the divine, to the universe. And so what I like to do is know what my intentions are, and I have a list that I'm going to be working from, and I have quite a few intentions that I'm setting. The new moon that I'm working with is actually the Aries New Moon, and I felt like this was really auspicious because I was bringing in these new energies to work on larger projects. So I have several different intentions that I'm working on here, and for most workings I tend to just have one intention, but for this I had a number of different energies that I wanted to call in and intentions, and so I spent quite a long time with each, writing them out and putting my intention into them. But first I wanted to set up my space, so here I'm lighting a charcoal briquette, and I'm going to be using some beautiful incense as well from Starchild. I'm using a homemade smoke cleansing bundle, and this is garden sage. It looks quite old now, but it is beautiful. I find this garden sage really cleanses the space really beautifully and brings in a layer of protection against the evil eye, which I really, really appreciate. I think especially when working manifestation magic, sage is really perfect because not only does it protect and cleanse the space, but it also brings in wishes for you. So prior to setting up my space, I actually spent the day creating a vision board with my daughter. We created our own separate vision boards, and I used a lot of the intentions that I'm going to put into these bay leaves on my vision board, and it turned out so beautifully. It's quite private, so I probably won't be sharing it here, but potentially I will share some future vision boards with you. So today I'm going to be using a beautiful natural incense from Starchild, and I just love the colour and the scent of this incense. It is so uplifting, and the colour, it is just so perfectly aligned with the feelings of joy and manifestations coming to fruition, so this just felt like the perfect incense to use for today. So some magical modalities may teach that intention is everything, and that's arguable, because I do think that there are other elements that are really, really important when it comes to spell work and manifestation. This is definitely something I could speak about in another video, as I could talk about it quite a lot, but I do believe that as well as having an intention, it needs to be clear. You need to understand exactly what you want to manifest, and I think you also have to have a very strong will in order to know that this will manifest for you, and you have to be certain of it. Anytime that I have used the law of attraction or I've used spell work to manifest something and it has had successful results, it has been when I have not had a doubt in my mind. I have to be in the right frame of mind to perform this kind of spell work. So I start off with a prayer, and I'm speaking directly to the Morrigan. I will make an offering and address the Morrigan, and then I will lift up my prayer to the Morrigan. Although you don't have to work with the deity here, you can speak directly to the universe, or the divine, or God, or whatever works for you. It's also not necessary to work with any form of godhead or deity, or to say a prayer if you don't wish to. So you can simply start with a pen. I'm using these 2 gold pens and some bay leaves, and set your intention. Be clear about what you want. Put it together in a concise way that makes sense for you. So once I have my bay leaf, I will just hold it in my hands. I of course like to ground and center before I start my spell work, so understanding that I'm fully grounded, I will draw up energy from the earth and feel it through my body and allow myself to push it through my hands into the bay leaf, and I can feel the heat as my intentions move through my body and through my hands into the bay leaf, and I sit with each bay leaf. And I also blow my intention into the bay leaf as well. Then I will burn each bay leaf. And I think it's interesting noticing the flames, noticing how they catch and carry through the bay leaf. Sometimes there are bay leaves that just go up really quickly, and others take a little bit more convincing. So you might have a small part of the bay leaf remaining that won't have burnt, and it's interesting to see what the word on that part of the bay leaf is, if there is a word. And I like to just make sure I finish burning it, all the while focusing on my intention having manifested and envisaging the final result and the manifestation having come to fruition. So I mentioned earlier that I performed this working on the Aries New Moon a few months ago, and I waited for a little bit before sharing this video because I don't think you necessarily have to wait for an Aries New Moon to perform this kind of magic, but also because I was waiting for certain things to manifest. I'm not exactly able to share what it was I was calling in, although they did have to do with money and career, as well as home and family, lifestyle, and all kinds of related topics in my life. I included timelines and deadlines with each of the manifestations, and I set that into the intention as I was working with each bay leaf. All of the manifestations that were set to manifest now or within a few months have manifested successfully, and a couple of them were followed up with additional workings that I performed after this working. One or two of the bay leaves included long-term projects and goals and manifestations, and they are still being worked on at present. However, one of the long-term goals, which I gave a deadline for the end of 2021, manifested within 1 week of performing this spell, and interestingly, it was the bay leaf that went up the most explosively and brightly and quickly in terms of the fire catching to it. And I think it's so interesting to look at how your bay leaf burns and the result after you burn your bay leaf. Ultimately, this is a really simple spell that you can perform at any time, and you can pull in planetary hours, planetary days to match your correspondences. You can work with the moon phases. You can use bay leaves to release things on the dark moon and to bring things to you on the full moon and set intentions on the new moon. You can burn bay leaves every day to cleanse and to purify your space and yourself. You can burn bay leaves to create circles of protection around yourself and your home. You can burn bay leaves daily to call in abundance and for a kind of continuous money magic working. Because bay leaves are so versatile, they can be used in so many different ways, and it's really prudent to do some research, maybe create a page of exploration in your magical journal or your book of shadows and figure out how you like to work with bay leaves the most and record what you discover. I was absolutely thrilled how fast my main manifestation came to fruition for me, and I really believed in the power behind this working as well as the vision board. And I think that however you work with bay leaves, working out how you like to work with them and figuring out what works for you, your own correspondences, will always be the most powerful thing, and drawing on your own knowledge, your own gnosis, your own understanding is going to make you a really powerful practitioner. As with any practices involving fire or flames or incense or candles, it's really important to be safe, so make sure you have water nearby. As I said, do your research, know what you're doing, understand the herbs you're using, and follow your own correspondences and your own understanding, because that's going to yield you the very best results. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it's given you a glimpse into some of the ways in which I work, and perhaps it's inspired you to try something like this if you haven't already yourself. If you did enjoy the video, please do click the thumbs up button, share it with anyone who you think would be interested to see, and if you'd like to see more from me around tarot, witchcraft, magic, and all kinds of spiritual related content, then please do think about subscribing. And while you're subscribing, don't forget to hit that little bell notification, because that's how YouTube is going to let you know when I create and upload videos just like this. So with all of that said, thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you stay well and safe, and I look forward to seeing you in another video really soon. Take care. Bye.